Hi, this is Trey with Veris Technologies, and today we will be looking at how to remove an email account from an iPhone and to add back a new Office 365 account. On this demo device, we have an email account set up, and we have on that same account our calendar and our contacts. And forgive me for going quickly, but we're just going to move through so that you can get your device configured. What you're going to do is go into Settings, and you're going to go down to passwords and accounts, and you're going to choose the account you want to remove, which in this case, it's obvious which account we want to move. I want to remove our Veris demo account, but if you have multiple accounts, make sure you're removing the correct one. Um, so we go into the account, and whatever the options are, we just go to the bottom and hit delete account. And it's going to ask what to do with your data, and you want to delete it from the phone. It's going to delete all that. Now that will take a few minutes depending upon how much data you have. If you have an old mailbox that's many years old with lots of data, I do recommend letting the phone sit for a few minutes, maybe a good 5 minutes before trying to re-add anything, to let it go through and purge all of the stuff. You can see on this one, which doesn't have much data, it clears out everything very quickly, so we're good to continue. I'm going to go ahead and close the apps. This is not necessary, but I'm kind of old school, so I like to do that. Okay, now to add an Office 365 account, you go to Add Account and just choose Microsoft Exchange. And you're going to put in your email address. And what I like to do is at this time, I go ahead and copy the email address because I like to use that as my description. It makes it very easy when you have multiple accounts to tell which account you're actually working with, and I'll show you that later. Yes, you're going to want to choose sign in here, not configure manually. You choose sign in. It's going to take you to the Microsoft authentication screen. So if you've got two-factor authentication enabled or other things, it would work with this. And go ahead and put in your password. All right, and then you're going to choose sign in. It'll verify. It'll take you to what options you want to turn on. So you can enable or disable whichever options you want, and click save. And that's it. Now we'll go check our email, and there might not be anything here, and I'll tell you why. You want to make sure in your settings for your account, you go back into it and see where it says mail days to sync. You want to set that appropriately for whatever you'd like. For this demo, I'm going to set no limit because my test messages are very old. So go back out to settings there. And now when I go into email, it should pull down my messages, which as you can see, they're several years old. When we go into our contacts, there's our contacts from Office 365. And when we go into calendar, there's our calendar entries from Office 365. Now, on the calendar specifically, I do have some shared calendars where I've opened up other users' calendars on my Office 365 account. In my Office, Rick, I've opened up his demo calendar as well. So by clicking at the bottom, by clicking calendars, you could choose what calendars you want to look at. Your default calendar, mine's set to orange. I'll set Rick's there to blue. And so then when you see it on your screen, there's orange entries are mine and blue are his. You could also turn on US holidays, which Office 365 lets you subscribe to those. And so we do have a holiday coming up here on Independence Days observed there. So um, I mentioned naming the description of the account. You can see at the top here, trey@verisdemo.com. If you had another calendar account, perhaps saved at another company, or your personal account saved at iCloud or Google, this is why you would want to have the description be the actual email address of that account. So that's where it is in calendars. Up at the top there, it shows you which ones you're displaying. In contacts, it's the top left called groups. You can see it's showing the trey@verisdemo.com contact lists. But again, if I had one at Gmail or another company or something like that, they would be listed here as well. And you want to be careful with that, specifically for contacts. And I'll show you a setting that would be important. If you have multiple accounts on your phone, you want to go into settings and contacts and the default account there listed. Set that to where you want your contacts to be saved, because if you type in a new contact, it's going to want to save it in that account. So that is an important thing to set up. I believe the calendar also has that option. Yes, default calendar. So you'll want to set that to whichever calendar is the appropriate calendar for your appointments to go on. It can get a little bit confusing when you have multiple accounts on your phone, so that's why that uh, setting is important. Okay, that's just a quick demo of removing and adding um, your email and calendar and contacts, removing them off of your device and adding an Office 365 account.